What's up, guys? It's Miracle Cat Corelli, and this is episode 276 of my Cat Vibes series. Today we're painting something from the Frenchburg trip. Somewhere in mid-April, we took a little drive from here, from Jeffersonville to Frenchburg. I was snapping some pictures out of the window of the car, kind of on the go, and so there is going to be a little series of, maybe not a very little series, of little paintings, a little series of little paintings that will have to do with that Frenchburg trip. So all of these little paintings, they're called something like Frenchburg trip number 1, Frenchburg trip number 2, number 3, number 4, etc., etc. They all have to do with the road. And by the way, I believe that roads here in Kentucky are a joy to the painter's eye, but they're an absolute pain in the ass to the driver. So my husband hates these roads, and I love them for their aesthetic value. I think it's a very colorful state. It's a very beautiful state. Living here and that kind of thing is a different question. It is very colorful. I think, generally speaking, that it's a lot better living in a big city like Moscow. Though I don't really think that there are any cities in the United States that compare to Moscow. Moscow is its own thing. And I'm heavily biased because I'm Russian and because I come from Moscow. I don't want to shitpile on where I live, but from a living standpoint, as far as cost of living and as far as amenities, as far as places to go and infrastructure and a lot of other things, living here is, I don't know. If I was given a choice, where do I want to live? I would not live here. I would live in a big city. But from an artistic standpoint, it is very colorful and it is very beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful landscapes out here, tons of wonderful, amazing, picturesque scenes. And actually the deteriorating infrastructure makes it somewhat, it's like a cherry on top of the pie, or frosting on the cake, whatever you want to call it. I find it fascinating, but that's me. You see what kind of brush I'm using. I like the scenery. I like these sometimes odd barns and houses and buildings, and sometimes, very often, by the way, very often as we're driving through Kentucky, you can see someone's ancient, beaten up, rusted vehicle parked in their backyard, and it makes you wonder, why are they still keeping that piece of trash? Because it is trash, objectively. However, again, to the painter's eye, it is an interesting subject. It is beautiful in its own way. And the whole state, I'm assuming, is filled with something like this. Recently, in the end of April, I've been to Louisville. Louisville is a whole different story. Lexington is a whole different story as well. Lexington is a city, and Louisville is a city. But out here in the boondocks, all of this strange conjunction of how people live and nature, it's a very strange junction. I wanted to say junction. And it's beautiful. So I like to go on these little trips to just drive around and to snap a whole ton of pictures and then to pick something and paint it. Make these little small studies / paintings and explore the strange beauty of where I live. It's very different from where I come from, because back in Moscow, for example, I've been drawn to small, old, crooked lanes and streets somewhere in the center of the city, or industrial areas, old factories, old brick buildings, and things of such nature. It always fascinated me. There is a vibe. You look at a place like that, a building or a street, and it has so much history to it. Here is different. Perhaps places here don't have that much history just because it's incomparable to Moscow. Moscow is just older. But there is this peculiar flavor, like I said, how people live and what kind of nature happens to be here. You drive down one of those roads and there's a deer running across the road. You have to watch out for these guys. There are raccoons, there are all sorts of wildlife and birds and buzzards flying in the sky. And so I like making these little paintings. And this is the first one of a mini series called Frenchburg Trip. This one is called Frenchburg Trip number 1. There's going to be 3 more. They're already painted. And I'm still pulling from that folder of reference photos. All of these paintings will have the road. It was a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. And the greens, the spring greens, and those colors, those tender pinks in the landscape, and undertones of ochre and brown and blue in the shadows, and the grass, the first leaves, all of this. I am gonna be pulling from that folder just because it is so beautiful. I so love spring. I love it so much. So I will be painting more, and there will be more little paintings coming out related to spring. So don't be surprised. This one is the first of its series. Now, if you want to purchase any of my paintings, you can reach out to me at ladycatherinecorelli@gmail.com, or you can inquire for one somewhere here in the comment section. It's better, though, if you reach out through email. I'm working on and prepping to open my own Etsy store, so the time is nigh. Soon, these paintings will be all on Etsy. This one is already framed. It comes with its own custom-made, handcrafted floater frame. It has a rustic feel to it. But other paintings will be framed in other ways. Thank you very much for being with me. I appreciate you joining my channel. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. If you like my content, please share it. Or don't share it if you don't like it. That's no big deal. If you want a painting, if you want a commission, reach out to me. Reach out to me. Let's talk. With that being said, thank you very much, and until next time, meow.